Creating genius children. This is the purpose, the avowed objective of our school, Kaushalya Global, the complete school. Every word in the name of the school is carefully chosen to reflect this philosophy. Kaushalya literally means an expert, a genius. Global because we have brought in technology from across the world. From Philadelphia in the US to Taipei in Taiwan, Tokyo in Japan. We have collected the most wonderful technology and put it together in one beautiful package of education for creating genius children. The complete school, because we know that the child spends only 5 or 6 hours in the school. The remaining time, he is either busy in an after school activity or he spends the time at home. So we cover every one of these time slots with proper guided inputs at every one of these phases. We create genius children. How do we do it? To understand this, we need to first define what is a genius child. Normally, the understanding of a genius is someone with very, very high levels of intelligence. Now, intelligence is measured with a unit called as IQ. So to understand extraordinary intelligence of a genius, we must first define what is average intelligence. Average intelligence is 100. And why it is 100, I'll tell you in a while. If the intelligence of a child is between 50 to 70, this is a brain injured child. 70 to 90 will be the IQ of children with learning difficulties. Dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, there are 15-20 types of learning difficulties. The Tare Zameen Par types. These children would have an IQ between 70 and 90. 100 would be the IQ of an average child. If the IQ is 120, 125, this child will always come first or second in the class. At 140, 145, a child will be a university topper, a gold medalist, a rank student. Between 150 to 200 is the field of a genius. And every child at the moment of birth has a potential to come in this field, 150 to 200, the field of a genius. We do it by recognizing that requirement of a genius. High IQ becomes productive when it is balanced with very, very high EQ and very high SQ, emotional quotient and high spiritual quotient as well. This combination of high IQ, high EQ and high SQ is a genius. We recognize clearly that there are two distinct phases in the first 15 years of a child's life. And if these two phases can be properly handled, every child can become a genius. The first phase is the age between 0 to 6 years. And the second phase is the age between 6 to 15 years. Now 0 to 6 years is typically the age group of a preschool child, and 6 to 15 is typically the age group of a senior school, 1st to 10th standard education. So what do we do in 0 to 6 years? In fact, this is the golden period in the life of a child. Understand that IQ is a function of the brain. EQ and SQ are functions of the mind. Now you may be slightly confused because of this distinction that I'm drawing between brain and the mind. Brain is a physical component in the head. Mind is a program of living life. IQ, intelligence and talent are functions of the brain. Emotional quotient, spiritual values, this is a function, is a part of the program of living life. The first 6 years is a golden period in the life of a child simply because 90% of the brain develops in the first 6 years and 90% of the mind also develops in the first 6 years. Brain is 400 grams of weight at the time of birth. By 6 years, it becomes 1100 grams. By 15 years, it slowly grows into a weight of 1250 grams. This is the time when you can raise the intelligence of the child to any degree if you do all the right things. 90% of the mind also develops in the first 6 years, and that 90% is the subconscious part of the mind. In the first 6 years, the child's subconscious mind is literally open like a funnel. Its conscious mind has not yet started functioning. So every experience of the child, everything that the child sees, everything that the child hears, every emotional feeling of the child, every experience simply goes directly into the subconscious mind of the child and programs his future choices. Let's talk of brain first. There are two important components. One is the talent with which the child is born. Once you recognize and understand this talent, then you can do the right things to maximize this talent. The second component is faster brain development of the child. These two when you do, then you raise the IQ of the child to the maximum possible limit. So, how do you recognize the talent of the child? Every child is born with a different talent. Now, science has developed enough to give us in the hands a unique, wonderful tool to precisely define the exact talent profile of every child. Let me explain the technology to you before I actually show you a report. Brain has two hemispheres, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. There are 5 clear portions on both the sides in the brain. Behind the forehead, this is called as prefrontal portion. Behind that is the postfrontal portion. In the center of the head, these are called as parietal portions. In between the 2 ears, this is called as temporal portions of the brain. And behind the 2 eyes right at the back, these are occipital portions. These are medical names. So 5 portions on the left side of the brain, 5 portions on the right side of the brain. The 5 portions of the left brain are connected to 5 fingers of the right hand. The 5 portions of the right brain are connected to 5 fingers of the left hand. When God gives a special talent to any child in any area of the brain, that part of the brain, the neurons get bunched up tighter for the information to be processed faster in that part of the brain. And when neurons get bunched up tighter, the connected finger to that part of the brain will show tighter fingerprints, which means more lines, more ridges on the fingerprints of that particular finger. And if child has a lesser talent in any area of the brain, the neurons are little loosely bunched up, spread out, and the connected finger will have little spread out fingerprints. So you can scan the fingerprints of the child, analyze this data in the software of the brain, and a scientific report then comes out which tells you what is the special talent, what is the strength in this child, what is the weakness in this child, what is the rate of growth of each one of these 10 portions of the brain, and decide the activities which are required to be done with this child for faster brain growth. I'll explain a report. This is prefrontal portion just behind the forehead. Left brain prefrontal, which is here, controls the talents of communication, management, planning and judgment. Right brain prefrontal is leadership, creativity, leadership, goal setting and visionary qualities. Postfrontal left brain, this 10% of the brain controls the entire school and college academic education, because that controls logical ability and language ability. Logical ability is maths and science. Language ability is Hindi, Marathi, English, Telugu, whatever you teach. So therefore now you understand why only 10% children in any school anywhere in the world are academically brilliant. Remaining 90% are average, weak or above average. Because when God distributes talents and there are 10 portions for Him to give the talent, only 10% will get talent here. Remaining 90% will get somewhere else. If you look closely, there are 3 critical differences between brilliant children and average children as far as academics is concerned. First, brilliant children read better. Second, brilliant children do maths better. Third, brilliant children have more general knowledge. Your child can learn to read at 1 year age, 12 months age.
Stop. Leg. Nose. Olive. Finger. Fairy tale castles. Once upon a time, long, long ago, a king and queen lived in a beautiful castle. It was a quiet day deep in the Indian jungle. Bagheera the panther was walking along the
You can teach an 18-month-old child to do maths.
47.
Yes.
43.
Good.
50.
Very good.
Plus 3 is equal to 10. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9.
This is postfrontal right brain. This controls spatial intelligence and imagination. Space means jageh, the ability to use space creatively, the way architects use or interior decorators use. This is spatial intelligence and imagination. These are the 3 learning styles. Children learn either by an activity through parietal brain, or by observing through occipital brain, or by listening through temporal brain. The parietal brain, left brain controls FMS and right brain controls GMS. These are technical terms. FMS means fine motor skills. Fine motor skills are control over the fingers, things that you do with fingers. Writing, calligraphy, drawing, painting, mehendi, rangoli, embroidery, all these are fine motor skills. Parietal right brain handles gross motor skills. These are those things which children do with the whole body. Dance, gymnastics, sports, martial arts, swimming, skating, skiing, all these are gross motor skills. Temporal left brain, this controls auditory identification. That means the ability to identify all frequencies of sound. And children who are strong behind the left ear, the left temporal brain, they can understand saptaswaras. They can understand ragas, rhythm, beat, bass, treble, low frequency, high frequency, all those sounds they can understand very well. Right brain temporal, which is behind the right ear, this controls the output of sound. Such children can control tonality, modulation, pace, pause, pitch, punctuation, the ability to impact audience using their voice. At the back, this is occipital portion. Left brain controls observation. Such children can see, read and understand a lot of information. Just by looking, they will understand a lot of information. And right brain controls visualization. Visualization is the ability to visualize a future possibility from a present reality. The second component of raising the IQ of the child to the highest possible level is to ensure that his brain develops faster in the first 6 years of life. Brain develops through 7 stages in the first 6 years. In the first 1 month, the medulla and cord develops. From 1 month to 2.5 months of age, pons develop. From 2.5 to 7 months of age, the midbrain develops. These 3 stages are common between humans and animals. The next 4 stages is the development of the cortex, which is a unique human attribute. From 7 months to 12 months, the initial cortex develops. From 12 months to 18 months, the early cortex develops. From 18 to 36 months, the primitive cortex develops. And from 36 months to 72 months, the sophisticated cortex develops. With every stage of brain development, 6 unique human intelligences which separate human child from the animals develop. These are called as milestones. The most important thing is what happens for an average child in 6 years can happen for a superior child in 3 years and may take as much as 12 years for a slow child. And how long these 7 stages take to develop decides what will be the intelligence of the child for the rest of his life. Because the formula for intelligence is neurological age divided by chronological age multiplied by 100. Neurological age means the age at which the brain of the child is working. Chronological age is the age according to time. Let me explain this clearly to you. For example, an average child stands up at 12 months. If your child stands up at 12 months, which means like an average child is standing up at 12 months, it means his brain is functioning like an average child of 12 months. So the neurological age is 12 months. Divided by chronological age is also 12 months. 12 months by 12 months is 1. Multiplied by 100. His IQ is 100. Now what we are saying is his brain is growing at average speed. Therefore he has got average intelligence. If the child stands up at 9 months, it means at 9 months itself his brain is functioning like an average child of 12 months. So the neurological age is 12 months divided by chronological age is 9 months. 12 by 9 is 1.33 multiplied by 100, his IQ is 133. If the child stands up at 15 months, it means now his brain is functioning like a child of 12 months. So the neurological age is 12 months divided by actual age is 15 months. 12 by 15 is 0.8 multiplied by 100, his IQ is 80. Now I made it a little simple for you to understand, it's not so simple. You have to take the average of all the 6 milestones and that is the neurological age of the child. Now therefore, if you want to raise the intelligence of the child to the highest possible degree, you need to ensure that these milestones are reached faster. And that is the special technology of Kaushalya Global, the complete school. So much for the brain of the child. Now coming to the mind of the child in the first 6 years. So every experience of the child at the school with the teachers, with the maids, in the transport van with the drivers, and at home with parents or whoever else they come in touch with, every experience of the child is going to program his subconscious mind. So, we not only train teachers on how to behave, we train the maids and drivers on how to behave with the child, we advise the parents on what is the right parenting behavior at home so that they program the child with absolutely the right programs of wise living, instilling the right values of emotional quotient and the right values of spiritual quotient. Once you sow these seeds in the subconscious mind of the child in the first 6 years, from 6 to 15 in the senior school, these seeds can then be further nurtured. This is the first phase, the preschool phase. Children can just join any of our preschools. We have 19 preschools in Hyderabad, and then seamlessly progress to the second stage, the 6 to 15 years of senior schooling, for which we have 3 centers. We have created a whole series of educational aids, books, DVDs, VCDs, training programs. We have parenting orientation lectures, and we keep constantly guiding the parents on what they should do at home in those hours when the child is there with them. So, at school, the right activities for faster brain development are undertaken by our trained teachers. After school hours activities, based on the DMIT report, we guide the parents on which are the right activities for the child for faster brain development, and we tell the parents on what they need to do at home with the child for raising the intelligence of the child. This is why one of the famous statements we make about our preschools is, global fact, 10% children are academically brilliant. Kaushalya Global fact, 100% children are academically brilliant. In the last 10 years history of our school, not a single child of our school has been refused admission in any senior school anywhere in the world. Now, coming to the second phase, the senior school phase from 1st to 10th standard, 6 to 15 years of age group. Children from any of our preschools can seamlessly come without any admission difficulties to any of our senior schools. And there we have the best academic program run by our own academy trained teachers, well-trained teachers, and scientific sports program and some of the best facilities. Now, we have a large playground at our parade ground school. We have 60,000 square feet of construction. We have an amphitheater, best equipped computer lab, the best equipped science labs, the most well equipped library, digital education, air conditioned classrooms. In fact, all our preschools and senior schools are air conditioned. Even the hostel facility for outstation children, children want to come from other districts or other states, we have a very, very well equipped hostel facility for the children. And apart from this, another unique feature is a team of well-trained world-class trainers for inculcating and further actualizing the EQ and the SQ part, the emotional quotient and the spiritual quotient part, which we nurture in the senior school. We work in the emotional quotient on teaching the children on how to handle generation gap between them and their parents, emotional intelligence, how to handle their own sexuality, their hurt, shame, guilt, interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, health management, having a wise relationship with money, prioritization, time management, public speaking, communication, presentation skills, leadership skills, how to handle relationships. All these areas of emotional intelligence are inculcated in the children by our world-class trainers. When it comes to SQ, the spiritual quotient, we work on giving him the importance of right intentions, values like integrity, the ability to work in teams, sensitivity, compassion, right attitude of gratitude, devotion, prayerfulness, using spirituality, yoga, pranayama, meditation, all this into the spiritual quotient. This, when you do, the highest possible IQ, the highest possible EQ and the highest possible SQ, then you truly create a genius child. So what are the various options with parents? If you are planning or expecting a child, then join the online GTDP program, the Genius Talent Development Program of Kaushalya Schools. We will guide you on what to do during pregnancy and what to do in the first 1 year from the first day after birth for the first 1 year of the child's age. If you have a child between 1 and 3 years of age, join the child in any one of the Kaushalya preschools and take full advantage of the latest cutting-edge brain development technology of Kaushalya schools. If your child is already studying in some other preschool, then you can still come to Kaushalya and get the DMIT test done for the child, which will let you know what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what is the rate of growth of various parts of his brain, and what are the right activities for you to do with the child to maximize his intelligence in the after school hours program, which you can do in Kaushalya schools or you can do in any other center of your choice. If your child is between 6 years to 15 years of age, you can still join the child in any one of our senior schools and take advantage of the extremely powerful academic curriculum, all the world-class facilities of the school, and most importantly, achieve all-round growth in the child by allowing us to work on his EQ and SQ development. This is how you create a genius child.